Very good. Here, Michael. Time. L'chaim, l'chaim, l'chaim. No, let's do l'chatchil hariba. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Fine.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, 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 da, da, da. Ay, da, ya, da, da, ya, da, da, ya, da. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, da, 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 ya, da. Ya, ya, ya. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, da, 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 da. Yeah, da, da, da. Rash was the Yatz's father, grandfather. Es gewinn a Chossid, es dacht ein Mishpocha a bissl, no? The Mendel Futter fast. So when he came out of the Gulag, he came to Chernovitz of a few Lubavitcher families, and he was very motivated to them on, things that, and one of the things that, whatever the Rebbe says, that's what goes. And one of the Lubavitcher families, they had a daughter, and 5 years old, and kid that unbelievable Yisurim. And the doctor said they should go to Moscow. In Moscow, they said in the hospital, they said that she has a kidney stone. It's unusual for a kid 5 years old to have a kidney stone. 1962, they didn't have laser treatment to break up a stone. So to take out a stendel, it's not fun. So, but the Mendels insisted that, yeah, whatever the Rebbe says, that's what you got to do. How are you supposed to ask the Rebbe? So the mother decided that she's going to do it, and she waited in the long in the post office in Moscow, and she got a date. In 2 days, she could come back, and she could have a 3-minute phone call to New York. That's where the comrades leben the lichtige Gan Eden, the good life in Moscow, where the comrades live the good life. So the Violet daughter is.
But they let her call the rabbi.
Oh, so that was a Mercedes Nefesh Mamish.
That is also
It's a Mercedes Nefesh Mamish.
how'd that work?
She is giving a phone number, but eventually, when the sensors are going to look, they're going to know exactly where the number is.
Exactly.
But for a child, so she calls and she's hoping that they're actually going to answer the phone. Kaka, someone answers the phone in the mosquitoes, and she says, "My brother-in-law is Mendel Futterfass. My name is Kach Bekach. My daughter is in the hospital. They want to do a surgery for a kidney stone." So secretary says, "Wait a minute," and a minute later he says, "Say again what you had to say." And she hears a voice on the phone. Zog the doctorim, as ze zal noch mal machen a bedike. That was it. So she understood that she was able to hear the Rebbe's voice. She ran to the hospital, and she insisted to the doctors that they should do another check. The doctors denied it. They said that, you're killing your child. We have to do surgery now. So she took her child, started leaving the hospital. And the doctor saw she means business. So they said, okay, we'll do another series of testing, but denied that right afterwards, you're signing off on the surgery. Okay. They did another series of testing, attack it. So they so given,
And the pain went away.
and the pain went away, and the kid was like always gehealed. So it was like a pele ploin. Now it's 40 years, mamish kemat, that the Rebbe started this thing that he went out every Sunday to be available to Yidden. It was a surprise. It wasn't something like many of the Rebbe's things. It wasn't something that the Rebbe, discussed with with the Vad Hayoyatzim. It was Yudal of Nissen, Tovshem and Vov. The Rebbe walked out of his room. It was a Sunday, and he started to give out dollars.
You had to prepare it. It means dollars. Gotta have to go to the bank to get it. Whatever.
Maybe the Rebbe prepared it. I mean, probably the Rebbe prepared it. And then it became a dova kavua, but so the Pesach didn't happen. Even though later years the Rebbe was even a cholamoyed, but that year didn't happen. And then it resumed Sunday after Pesach. And like by now they realized that this would have been the third week that the Rebbe did it. And they
what time used to be.
So in the beginning it changed a little bit. At the beginning the Rebbe used to start at 10 o'clock. But later, after the Rebbe passed away, and the Rebbe started davening with the minyan every day, so then it was 11 o'clock. Right after davening.
Sometimes.
Always.
Oh, we never done with
Always. Always. All the Rebbe only came for Kriyas Torah.
Really?
Yeah. And the only changed when after the Rebbe passed away.
Did the same thing?
Yeah, sure.
They didn't never done with the minyan about Rebbe?
No.
Once.
And yeah.
What's it? Mincha Ma'ariv, Shabbos.
Mincha Ma'ariv,
Shabbos they did.
Shabbos, yeah. Shabbos, yeah. Right. Shabbos was different. Not during the week. But then the Rebbe started davening with
3 o'clock mincha.
3:15.
Yeah, he did.
3:15. Yeah, that was always.
He did.
But Shachris changed, so that's why it changed the drop. But anyway, the Indian of Sunday stayed Sunday.
So
So
time he went till
the Agbichi Achron should be Yisrael. It could take 3 hours. It could take 8 hours. So I was telling my children a Shabbos that Tzedov from the Teferet Shloim and Adomsk. He says that by a tzaddik there's veroa koyin, just like by the koyin. That when the veroa koyin, when the koyin get a cook, when the koyin get a cook is venirpe negetzeras. So when a yid comes to tzaddik and the tzaddik cooked, sever nirpe the negetzeras.
So the kohen itself is making the healing for
yeah. That just the sing. So the Rebbe made sure to be available for you.
Basically.
Yeah. My uncle was nifta had Gimel also. She think shy if you shy like his theater because his bris was nifta on today. My uncle, my father.
Sehr gut. So sagen Sie nicht schmutzig.
And the Mincha Seluza, he was the Minkasher. The Mitzvah gehalten from the Rebbe's, he was a little kid. He never wanted the Mincha Seluza to look at his face. And kicking up my stand, listen to Alman virus.
Unbelievable.
That's how they were in that kind of esteem and like gehalten from the Rebbe's.
It's unbelievable.
Anyway,
l'chaim. So it's 40 years. It's 40 years, and I'm telling my children about it. And I say that's Veroa Koyin, that this Dinyan is Veroa Koyin. So why is it Afghan Sunday? Why did the Rebbe give the dollars on Sunday? So one of the kids said, "Well, Tati's and Shashayla. Yidden are available on Sunday. When are people not working? Sunday people are available." I said that's a nice pshat, but it's not full enough. For a chosed, I has to be a little more with a knech. A chosed, it's got to be a little more of a knech.
There's got to be more to it.
There's got to be more to it. Yeah. It's Memocheres HaShabbos. So we know that there was a Tzdukim had a big, that the Gemara says a Menoches, and that the Tzdukim said Memocheres HaShabbos is Svartim, Shabbos Bereishis. Always Sunday.
By Tunim.
Yes. And then the Chachamim come along and they said, no, it's not true. And the Rambam talks about it, it's a narishkeit to say if that year Memocheres Shabbos was on a Sunday, but that's not the Ilah Materes. The Ilah Materes is because it's the day after Pesach. So before the pasuk says Memocheres HaShabbos. the pasuk says Memocheres Shabbos. That's what it says in the pasuk. Why taka? Does the pasuk says Memocheres Shabbos? So the Rebbe says because in every Yom Tov there's a Bechina Shabbos Shabbai. There's a Bechina Shabbos Shabbai. And the emesis of Pichsidis, it's really Memochris Shabbos, because Alter Rebbe says in the Maimer and Lakutei Torah, the Maimer Spartim Lachem. We're not learning it this year because can't learn every year the same Maimer, but this is really the Maimer Spartim Lachem Memochris Shabbos. The words from the Magid that Spartim means Sfidus, Behirus, and Sapir, Seshaint. That Yidus to make it's also shine. That's the shine. How does it gonna make it? It's going to shine. That has to be through the koyach of Memocheres Shabbos. That through Shabbos, Yemel told the koyach, it's on him silent to start counting, and then it'll be Sheva Shabbos Tamimis to purify the midas 7 times 7 as the koyach from Shabbos. So Shabbos picks up a yid, the milam is man mokim, and from that day is the koyach to do the avodah of Sheva Shabbos Tamimis 7 times 7 to purify all his midas. So the Rebbe says that's the pshat Memocheres Shabbos. That taka it's Memocheres Shabbos. It's mitzad the bechina Shabbos shebe Pesach. There's the bechina shvisa that's in every Yom Tov and Shabbos bedoimer. Yom Kippur, Yom Tov, Shabbos. There's the Indian shvisa that are equal in all of them. We spoke about it. You were here. We had our first year from Beis the medrash about the Rishonim that hold that you have to have lechem mission even on Yom Tov. So because the way that Rashi learns is that Shabbos, Yom Tov, and Kippur, it's all the same thing. That is Bechina Shabbos, the day of Shvisa. So the Eibishter gave the day before like a Mishnah. So bottom line is, I think that's the pshat. And my kids laughed. They said, "Tati always has to be pilpul." The Jews are available on Sunday. They're not working. I don't think so. I think there's a Inyan Omuk B'Yoyse that Sunday, the Indian of the Tzaddik looking at Yid is Vero HaKoyin. Sunday is the Indian of Chesed. Memocheres Shabbos is Sunday. Because Shabbos is the Shabbos. You get so the first day after Shabbos has the Koyach, Tzarambringen HaKadosh in the world, and that's what the Koyach with the Tzaddik git. So that was
in last week's drama.
Which one? Which sikha?
What you just said about the Tzedokим and Mochas Hashem.
Oh yeah, was it?
Was there. I read it.
Yeah. So anyway, so l'chaim. Today is Takim and Mocheres Shabbos, and it's Tiferes Shebetiferes. So the Rebbe shall help from every one of us. Techechi Klal Yisrael, so Zayn v'Sefartem, so Kanan Taka shall shinen, or the Lachem shall shinen, and Taka that the Torah and the Tefillah bon shall Zayn shall shinen. L'chaim. And so again, Chatchila Riber. Ah, yeah. Yo. Yeah. Yeah, la da 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 da. Ay, la da 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 da. Yeah, ay, yeah, ay, yeah, yeah. Ay, la da da. Yeah, yeah, ay, yeah, yeah. Iyar, 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 Iyar.
How had like he was wealth and what?
Yeah, but the Rebbe Nash was wealth. Yeah.
That he was
Spoke
marching
about Shabbos.
horses.
No, that was a Mittler Rebbe. That was
Remember the middle?
yeah. That was
Who's
L'chaim,
the
L'chaim.
fell of the horse?
His son, Reb Nachum.
Oh, nothing.
L'chaim, L'chaim.
Middle.
Mittler Rebbe. So
Won the lottery. No,
the Rebbe Nash did good, did good.
Did good on the lotteries.
L'chaim, L'chaim.
Rebbe Yatz was also Baruch, no.
No, in the beginning, yes. You know,
Money,
since
the
not
Rebbe
money,
Nash.
but he was very much on
I
the.
think Rebbe had a lot of money also.
I never knew about that.
No.
Time and from the government. I don't know.
L'chaim, L'chaim. So I'm talking about Sunday, the dollars. I'm talking about Sunday dollars. There was someone that published recently a story. I mentioned it. There was a woman. She became Wallace Truman, and I was years ago. We sent our kids to Beis Menachem, a very tiny school in the beginning. Now it's Russian. So parents we met. So, one of the kids today, the best kids, are from the Lubavitcher family. It's unbelievable. So the mother that sailed at the gewusst geordnet von Yiddishkeit, zero. She heard it was the Lubavitchers in Crown Heights. They come again of a Shabbos. She like walked into the 70s, with a suitcase, and the Rebbe looked at her, such a sharp look, like looked at her, and that was it. She decided she's becoming from. Her father,
Where?
cook. The Rebbe gave her a look, and then her father was a psychiatrist, psychiatrist. I think he was a psychiatrist. He was scared she was caught a cold. He was so nervous. So he came to Crown Heights to check out.
That was wrong.
He came to Crown Heights. No, he didn't become frum, but he told his daughter, it's not a cult. It's not a cult. And he was very happy. He said two things. Number one, in a cult, they try to take you away from your parents. And I see they're not. They're trying to be Makad of me. So it's not a problem. And also, he said the second thing, in a cult, they take away all your money. Over here, they only take away 10%. So anyway, Balshuva, so she tells her father, he wants to give her a birthday present. It's chalishing for a birthday present, one thing. Achashalti should like to have a Rebbe dollar. Was he supposed to get a Rebbe dollar? He doesn't know where to get it. So he talks to all his friends. He asks, anyone know where we can get a Rebbe dollar?
Where should she go online?
Sie hat gesagt to her father, he doesn't know. Israeli, weiß nicht. So he talks to all his friends. He asks. One friend says, sure, I have a dollar for you. Maisa shahoya kachoya. He heard that Lubavitcher Rebbe gives dollars. He got along. And he came to the Rebbe. So he says to the Rebbe, can I also have for my wife and my children? So the Rebbe gives him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he tells the Rebbe, no, I only have a wife and 3 children. So I only need 4. So the Rebbe said, you'll give it to another Yid. And he took it and he came home. He gave it to his wife and his children. And he had the extra dollar. And now, a couple of months ago, when his friend tells him that his daughter became a Balas Shuva and she's chalashing for the Rebbe's dollar, he said, oh, I remember, Taka. The Rebbe gave me an extra dollar to give another Yid. When we got married, the day of our chasna, we went to the oil.
Was after Gimel Tammuz?
After Gimel Tammuz, yeah. We got married a few years later. And my wife, my Kala went to the morning to the oil afterwards. She went to see a video for a few minutes. It was unbelievable. So she saw herself in the video getting a dollar, and then Rebbe gives her an extra dollar. an extra dollar. He got an extra dollar. She understood the extra dollar was for the chasna. The Rebbe gave it to her years before. She was a young girl. And the Rebbe gave her an extra dollar.
It was in the video.
Famous spirit and Moshe Wolfson.
Wow.
So he went to the oil, and he had a heart condition, and he didn't know he had. I think always had the heart. I was in China. Should he do the heart procedure or not? She goes to the oil. She goes to the video. Who does he see? Oh, Moshe Wolfson. And he saw the answer to this question when the Ungebench in Demos, exact same story.
A lot of things, a lot of time, people go to the video and something that they were coming to daven for, the Rebbe is talking about it. Wow.
What happened? He said it himself.
Because that
Exact
thing,
same story.
You saw the video here, Motzei Shabbos, the Gem video.
I was only
Something remarkable. I always heard the story. There was one of the Moedik, the Chaim Shmulevitz son-in-law, the Nochem Parchovitz. So yeah. So they had the whole story. I don't want to ruin it. You could watch it.
How do you find it?
It's this week in the Gem video.
Because it would be a shul to have it. They don't give it out to regular people.
I'll ask if maybe Peretz will send it to you. I don't know. It was just fascinating that the Rebbe asked a Chaver of his to tell him the Rebbe told him that he should not stop giving a shiurim. As a mamshach zayin gave him shiurim. So he had a Chaver, Rav Lezazon in Torah Vadas.
Blazing.
Yeah.
I was thinking of the
Right.
So that's a Chaim Bulin that's in Florida.
So Lezazon gave over to one of the bochrim that went there to Israel. The Rebbe gave a piece of matzah for Reb Nochem. Please bring it to him because the Rebbe gave it to me. He said, give it to him and tell him that the Rebbe said that he should not stop giving shiurim. So he came and Reb Nochem was like, he says, you can't believe it. He said that he was nebuch sick, and the doctor came and said that he has to give himself a break at least 6 weeks, stop giving shiurim. So he told the doctor that I'm sorry, but I can't listen. He said if he's going to give shiurim, maybe he'll live, maybe not. If he'll stop giving shiurim, immediately he's going to get Yenavelt. But after the doctor left, he would think to himself, like, maybe it was a tippish, like maybe the doctor's right. And then a few hours later, he gets the message with the piece of matzah from the Rebbe that the Rebbe said he shouldn't stop giving shiurim. Anyway, that was one of the.
She was the sense he's like really design. She was.
Yeah, shiurim are unbelievable.
How do you get a liking to Chabad? If we came to Chabad.
So what happened was he didn't even realize when the first time he came to the Rebbe in Yechidus, the Rebbe said, "You remember I came to your house?" So he was like, "What?" So he said, "You were a little boy, and the Frierdiker Rebbe came to visit your father, and your father asked that the Frierdiker Rebbe should give him a bracha, and the Frierdiker Rebbe gave him a bracha, should be a Talmid Chacham. And do you remember there was a younger man next to the Frierdiker Rebbe? That was me." The Rebbe told him, "I say, I remember you." Funny. Anyway, l'chaim. I think Taka is a practical thing. The Rebbe wanted that Sunday was available for Yidden to come, and McKenzie planning from them. Taka, we chap Yidden when and where they're available. But I think there's also an inyan that Memochin is a Shabbos. There's inyan of Shabbos Ayid has a Aliyah Lamail of his Mama Mokum. And then on Sunday, which is Yom Shekulei Chesed, Sunday Yid has a koyach to bring down a Moedik Kedusha into the rest of the week. So l'chaim. The Rebbe got a Moedik Koch with Inyan Rebbe Marash. The Rebbe Marash, it's like gefiert the Malchusdik, and he said that there's the idea of l'chatchila riba, that not that a Yid should try to shmuggle his way arunta, and not even b'mishur, but you go ariba to go. In other words, l'chatchila riba. So that should be our attitude in Avodas Hashem.
He had a royal house with Zul Ben Diza.
Yeah. He had a Bashirus, yeah.
And he gefiert the Pumbi, is
it? Yeah, 100%. Very Bashirus.
Golden shoes.
I don't know. No, that's not true. People, I don't know. My son-in-law was just telling me an hour ago about it. That's a different. It's a mixed up. That was the story with the Ruzhin.
it's not something.
But no, the Rebbe
It goes on as a coast.
right, and the Rebbe said the story about his shoes, but it's not given there. But the Rebbe was talking about Mishal Hashirus, and both of Besalcha Berachova. So l'chaim, that every one of us package should be in our Avodas Hashem. that there should be V'salcha Barachova, they shall get Magashmis for all Eden, should be V'salcha Barachova. L'chaim, l'chaim, l'chaim. Kol doi di doi di doi feg doi feg is a gili doi feg is a gili is a gili Considera Asiana, Masi, Considera Asia, Asitamasi, ya, 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 ya. Yeah, yeah, need him, da, 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 da. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, Now to that. Yeah, 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 yeah. Da, 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 yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Time, time. So I'm coming now for Farbrengen because there is an annual Farbrengen from Tziri Agudas Chabad. Since I'm a member of Tziri Agudas Chabad, which is like the Rebbe started this organization many years ago. It's called Tziri Agudas Chabad, which is basically um, the Shluchim in New York. It's basically it's the Meftoim campaign. It's the outreach. They ever started Tavshin Tezvav Beis Iyar.
Where was the kindergarten?
In the Tzivos Hashem in the second floor. So every year, one of the Rabbi Castell is a member of Tziri Agudas Chabad many years. So he said that he started the Pegishas. So they always try to get a speaker for the Pegishas. What's the Pegisha? An encounter with Chabad. Yeah, like a Shabbaton. And for many years, the Rebbe used to talk, and Shabbos, Lakovid, the group that used to come, they used to come together for the Farbrengen. The women would be upstairs, the men downstairs. And the Rebbe would say a special sicha Lakovid them. Like, Sashayle and Ashkof, ich weiß, was the Frauen kennen nicht tanzen, some versteht. I picked Stam Shaila, but like, like such, and maybe Toiro Mada type of question. The Rebbe would pick one question, and then would say Sicha covered them. Very geschmack Sichas. So he said it's like two opposite stories. Very interesting. So he said there was a shlich that ever sent to Buenos Aires, Beryl Baumgarten, and Beryl Baumgarten was in New York. So he said, "Oh, how many speakers did Chabad have that day? Like there was no one. He said he would, you go into 770. He tried so hard. He found a quiet Boker, Manas Friedman, and Fadrete Kop, that he needs someone to speak, and he convinced him to speak. He tried to. But Beryl Baumgarten given a yid about Surah, and he asked him if he has in Long Island there's a sisterhood from a temple, and for them it's like geschmack, especially way back when Lubavitch wasn't a big threat to them. Kommt a Yid mit a board, man can fragen Shilas, it's entertaining. But for us, it's an opportunity to make inroads. You can wissen. and there was a big group of people, and they had a talk scheduled for 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the evening in the sisterhood. Was in the Bethel temple. And he needs to get a Lubavitcher's again. So he meets Beryl Bumgarner, and he asks him, "Could you please speak?" He says, "Which night?" He says, "Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock." He says, "Tomorrow night I have a scheduled Yechidus with the Rebbe." So he says to himself, "Oh, okay, fine, whatever." He says, "No, not whatever. What time is the talk?" 8 o'clock. How long does it take to drive there? An hour. Ah, my Yechidus is not going to be till 3 o'clock in the morning. So this is the best way to make achona to go to the Rebbe for Yechidus. Taka, he went, it was Batzloch. And then the next day he meets him. He said, "It was my best Yechidus. As I wrote to the Rebbe that I just went to Long Island. And the Rebbe was so happy that it was gescheint. It was like the whole Yechidus was different." And then he said, to contrast that, another story, he was famous Reb Chaim Gutnik. Chaim Gutnik was a Choshev Yid, and he would come, he lived in Melbourne, come to America. So he said, I tried to get him to talk also for a Pagisha or something. Stop bothering me. Stop bothering me. Genug is genug. Okay. Fafal.
Oh, you gotta clarify.
He says next morning, he meets my Gutnik at 770. He says, I went to Yechidus. The Rebbe asked, how come I'm not talking at a Pagisha? So Rabbi Castell says, I'm telling you, I did not maser. I did not maser on you to the Rebbe. I did not, trust me, I didn't say a word. So Rabbi Gutnik says, not only that, the Rebbe told him that he was a chaplain officially in the he was the chief chaplain in the armed forces of Australia, and the Rebbe said he should dress up with his uniform. The rabbi is dressed up. He's the chief chaplain in the Australian Army. So anyway, that was
He took this goose.
huh? Exactly. Some Indian. There was something remarkable that a story about Taki Bumgar that I don't want to say the protum of the story because if I'm going to say something wrong, and he was doing shlichus. It was the summertime. He was doing shlichus, and back my mechutin, we just had my daughter's chasna in the winter. So my mechutin made a book with all the rabbanim for 150 years in Buenos Aires. Es given Yidden Balitzura, and there was at some point, starting from 1880, there was 200,000 Yidden in Argentina. Mamish crazy. And that there was the Frum Yidden in Buenos Aires, in Argentina. A lot of them are based on small Frum communities. So they're
I have over there.
yes. This morning, right? So
In
this
Uruguay also.
yes. And the
neighbor's wife.
and one of them, there was a
Verweerlich nog even.
yeah. There was a Satmakil there.
Is this not like
Yeah.
How they can.
Yeah. So what happened was there was a place where it was called Moishesville. So my mechutin, he married into a family, South American family, Argentinian family. So they're descendants of this one, and this one, and this one, and this one, and they're like because how many from families are so they're Elta Zayde.
Morano's also.
Huh?
Morano.
Nee, das gewinnt jede Pesche Jiden, so wie kommen dort. So haben geredet alle Jiddisch. And he was a Rav. So my son-in-law's great grandfather, Pasha 10 generations up. Mamsha, we're talking about, he moved there in 1880. Gewinnt Jida, größer Tamet Chochem, gewohnt von Wilna, man dachte sich, und geschrieben Schalze Tschubes vor ihm, and he was a Rav in a city called Moishesville. And today is Ali Goyim. But Yom was given Ali Yidden. And the language everyone spoke was Yiddish. the newspaper in town is given Yiddish.
Till today.
No,
Then-
no. Today there's
Oh,
a
there's
cemetery with thousands of Jewish graves, and all's going. No, not a single Jew left, never. So Rabbi Baumgarten was going from town to town, and he was trying to do, the shlichus to be moired these Yidden that Nebuch were, getting lost. And at some point, he came to there was a place he was going to. He was going to next country, and he was going on a boat, and he had like these boats you could park your car on the boat, and he had his car parked on the boat, and he got out of the car, and there was a whole bunch of Yiddishisten over there, from a Yidden. He tried to talk to them. Said there's geholfen. So he said, you know what, I'm just going back in my car. I'm a little behind on my chitas and my Rambam. I'm joking when I say Rambam because back then there was no Takon of Rambam. Behind on my chitas, and because that's mit sefer. I don't know yet. I want to say let's brought them the story because I told it Matzah Shabbos 2 weeks ago, and my son-in-law already fixed me with 3 brought them because there's bediuk in the story.
He was traveling. No.
Okay, so that part.
Yeah.
Hold up to the file. There's no fact checking about everything.
Oh, okay, fine. So there was all of a sudden something happened, and his car went flying off the boat and went into the ocean. And it was an unbelievable sakona because it's not easy to open up a door when you have the water pressure against your car. And Mishas Maisa was Farbrengen. It was there was that, and it's only 1 hour different. It was towards the evening, and there was a Farbrengen at that time. It's a Beis Iyar Farbrengen, and that time the Rebbe had his brother lived in New York. His brother Mendel. Bertel Baumgarten's brother Mendel was at the Farbrengen, and the Rebbe said that he should make l'chaim for his brother. The Rebbe asked, "Where's Bertel?" Which was a capella. The Rebbe knew he wasn't there. That he's in Buenos Aires, he's whatever, he's in Argentina. The Rebbe asked, "Where is he?" And they said he was not there. So the Rebbe said that his brother should say l'chaim for him. And Taka, what happened was it was like a nest. He managed to open the door of the car, and he would manage to swim up to the top, and then they sent out a rope, and they pulled him back on the boat. And the Yidden that were gelacht from him were like shaking; they couldn't believe it was an unbelievable miracle. He was able to open up his door and able to swim up. So that was the story.
The car was already sunken.
Yeah, the car was already in the water. He managed to open the door and swim up to the top. So that's the Indian of Eroa coin. That the Indian from the Tiferes Shlomo, the Eroa coin. That there is sometimes when you stand in front of the coin, and there is a special, the super duper coin that Ken Zenayid, even the Yid is not standing in front of him. And Ken Zenayid, that Tzaddik Ken Zenayid, even if it's berochik, because there's Tzaddik has a light and he could see Ma'asofai about Soifai. So l'chaim, but Dave Shalhof, everyone has their own. There's the nirpa, it's the neget tzaras metzeru. Everyone has. We have our. Jeder hat sich seine eigene tzaras, and man will man soll sein ausgehelt von dem. Man soll sein ausgehelt von dem. So Dave Shalhof, the Taka. It's the days of Sfiras Omer, which is the day of Sapir Obor. It's Shinen. The Taka, we should be zoicher through these kashas with tzaddikim, that should be v'nirpe neget tzaras, and alle Yidden soll sein nirpe from the Golus, Marias Mashiach Tzidkenu, l'chaim.
It was a story that one of the rabbis looked out of the window and says, "I can just shine a chaya yechida by a certain chosed." What was that? I heard it. I don't know where I heard it. One of the rabbis, either Rebbe Maharash or Rebbe Shab, he looked out of the window and he called his son and says, "This chosed, I see the shining, the chaya yechida, something of
Different stories about the thing.
That's fear, not but fear. I thought it was fear.
L'chaim. Oh, let's be Messiah the Farbrengen now.
Well, sad from all the Rebbes that the Rebbe had a very stark shaykhus was with the Biyana also.
Yeah, for
Not-
sure. There's that picture. It's a famous
Yeah,
picture.
yeah,
Oh,
which
lovely little
Iyar
picture.
story.
There's a Leviathan,
And
you know?
he asked the Gabbai if he could be Malava, ultimately be the Biyana Rebbe's arm. The Rebbe asked Rishus. Because Biyana was much older than the Rebbe then.
Right, you've seen the picture.
You seen the picture. The Rebbe was Malava then.
Where do
What
you have the
back did
picture?
they have?
I don't know.
Where do you
It's
have the
a gorgeous
I
picture.
remember the Biyana when he was Nifta. I was a little boy. What shaykh is the Mishpacha? They were
Maybe some
Mishpacha.
Mishpacha.
Somehow they were
So
cousins.
a shtickle Mishpacha
Way
again.
back, they were cousins. They could marry.
Mach noch L'chaim. L'chaim. Them is, there is a beautiful word from the Alter Rebbe and his brother that the Alter Rebbe, we spoke about him lately. That the Alter Rebbe's brother asked that it says, V'asiroisi leva evem ibsarchem. So the Alter Rebbe's brother asked him, what's with the moyach evem? What amal verstopte kopechet? So the Alter Rebbe said, nah, das ist gefährlich. Mit der Kopf kann man sich spraven. Like, it's not so bad. Sometimes we don't have such clarity of mind. That's versteht, wo man darf sein, aber it's Hashem. But the difficulty is in the leiv. In the leiv, that molus lo is ordelas levavchem. There's a more the beautiful word from the Rebbe, which is that it says that Eden Belel Pesach they will mal themselves. They were mal Belel Pesach. They did the mitzvah bris milah.
There's no Zion.
So the shaila is when they did it, but there is a Maimah Chazal that they did it in the night of Pesach. Thing that they came, they wanted to eat the Pesach. So they all did the milah. The Forshim ask, wie is Shaykh Azazach? Because mitzvah's milah has to be by yom and not by layla. The Rebbe says that a Chassidus, because it was Laila Kayom Yoyer. That night, the Laila was, and also the Leil Shvisha Pesach was Laila Kayom Yoyer. So therefore, if the Eibushter made so it was like day. It had a din of day. So you had a din vitog.
Is that good Pesach? And the count.
The Choshech itself turned into Hoyer.
That was the counting all things that market special.
No, nothing to do with market special. No, the Yoyer is Aloyla. So L'chaim. That's the attack. Choshech, Moedik Choshech, at the end of Golos. But Eibushter Hofen soll sein Vayoyer.